Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at BellyUpSports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
Obviously, every USA international break, we do break it down, and so we got to talk about that Jamaica game. So USA beat Jamaica 3-1. It went to extra time. USA had 78% of the possession. USA had a total of 25 shots. 7 of them were on target. Jamaica did open up the goal scoring in the first minute mark with a goal by Greg Lee. USA then followed it up with a own goal from Corey Burke in stoppage time, in regulation time, which then led to extra time, which that's when we saw the 2 goals from Haji Wright on the 96th and the 106th minutes. This game was very overwhelming. Any USA fan would say that very same thing. It was a very overwhelming performance. Obviously, then you had Greg Berhalter going on his little tangent where, look, I mean, everything that, obviously Jose said what he needed to say was all that needed to be said was from what Jose's tangent was about Greg Berhalter. I'm not a fan of Greg Berhalter. I've made that very clear from a very long time now that I'm just not a fan of him. I don't think he is the manager for the U.S. national team. He does some good things. There's some positive results, but obviously when it comes to the upper echelon competition, i.e. the Netherlands, i.e. Spain, i.e. Italy, i.e. Brazil, he just does not get the job done. And I'm still concerned about it when it comes to Copa America. This Jamaica game should have been less overwhelming than it needed to be. And kind of what I mentioned earlier with Jose, like when we think about last year, when we were back in this scenario all over again, the U.S. men's national team looked so different on the attack-wise. It looked very complimentary. It looked like what this core of players is supposed to look like. And so it's disappointing when we know we have the quality on this roster, and because of coaching is the reason, because of what Greg Berhalter's system is, it's just like it's not looking the way we want to look, where it's supposed to look like. But he is the man. He is the coach for right now. Do I feel confident about him going into Copa America? No. Especially with the group that USA is going to be in, which will have Uruguay. Just to name one country. I'm drawing a blank of all the countries that are in there, but sorry about the yawn. But it's just like, yeah, there's so much uncertainty, so much question marks behind that. But then you have this game. USA beat Mexico 2-0 in the final. Which now secures their 3-peat for the CONCACAF Nations League. So since the CONCACAF Nations League has started, USA has been able to win the final every single time. Obviously now beat Mexico twice. They beat Canada last year. I'll get to my point. Well, I'll get to what I want to say about that before I get there. But USA had 53% of the possession. USA had 11 shots. 6 of them were on target. And the goals came from Tyler Allens, who scored a banger goal in the 45th minute, and Gio Reyna, who, it was just well-played shot. This is what we were, no one's questioning Gio Reyna. Nobody is questioning, the only reason to question Gio Reyna is because of the fact that he's just not playing matches for Nottingham Forest. He wasn't playing really many matches over at Borussia Dortmund. And obviously, it's hard to defend Gio Reyna because of the lack of minutes, and everyone's just like, and I hear this from just random banter that I have with coworkers or random banter with anybody that is Gio Reyna really that good? And I tell you, I hold Gio Reyna to a very high regard. I think that this kid has so much potential. I think he's going to be one of the best players that U.S. men's national team has ever had in its history. There's so much potential with him, but the problem is obviously injuries has hurt him a lot. And now that Borussia Dortmund, which I do question why Borussia Dortmund doesn't play him, because when he has played for Borussia Dortmund, he's proven to be very valuable. Um, but then goes to Nottingham Forest where he has a very limited role, kind of similar to what Matt Turner. And I think the positive result from this international break has been for Tyler Adams and for Matt Turner, who guys that don't really play that much for their club right now, which is now Nottingham Forest, both playing for Nottingham Forest, by the way. And they're able to come out with two positive results. Honestly, the Jamaica goal, I don't blame him too much. I think there was a lot there. It was a clear defensive error. I also don't want to blame Joe Scally on that at all either. But uh, he was the guy closest to it. But I think that was just poor marking in general. But it was just poorly put in that situation, just in general. But in the end, only allowing one goal in this international break. So I think Matt Turner was able to get out of a pretty solid shift nonetheless. But yeah, it was just one of those weird things. Um, but positive result. Tyler Adams, honestly though, I just want to give his flowers right now because once again, Tyler Adams, another player that I hold to a very high regard. I personally have donned him the captain many of times. Now here on Amsterdam FC, I like everything about Tyler Adams. I think he has all the capabilities of being a very solid leader. He's proven in the 2022 FIFA World Cup that he is a solid leader. Just go back to that Iran interview that he had, the Iranian press conference that he had, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I would have handled that as professionally as he did. I would have definitely gone off on that guy. But that's just me. But kind of just coming, the fact that he's been out for such a long period, some people questioning whether or not he still has it, and to get the start for this game, obviously he didn't start the Jamaica game, but did come in and get some minutes, but then comes into the Mexico game, starts, and then at the end of the first half puts in a banger of a goal. Um, Real statement. I think I know I was also one of those people that was prepared to move on to Johnny Cardoso. But I think it's just because of the injuries that Tyler Adams has gone through. But I think Tyler Adams has still proven to be a quality player. I think there is a lot of value in him. Though I think that he just needs to go to a place where he's going to play. And for him, his situation in Bournemouth isn't so much Bournemouth's fault. It's just that he was injured. So I don't think that necessarily that's any to blame. I think once he gets regular minutes, we're gonna see what he's capable of. I just don't know if he's capable of being a top league player, if that makes any sense. But um, I honestly I don't think it matters where these guys play. I just need them playing, just point blank. And I think for Tyler Adams, a way to statement for him to score that opening goal, and then Gio Reyna kind of need this is what we need to see from Gio Reyna. We don't need Greg Berhalter to announce anything, take shots at what Jesse Marsh said. One, dude, I'm already not a fan of you, so focus on the games. That's what you should be mad. Who cares who anybody talks about in any podcast? The fact that you're taking time to even address that just shows me where your priorities are, and I don't like it. I already don't like you, and you're just adding more reasons for me not to like you. Focus on the game, focus on these matches, because you know what, you should be. They beat Jamaica, but it was a very overwhelming win. This Mexico win, it's that's one of the things that I hate so much about Berhalter, though, is that you have this very overwhelming performance, where it's frustrating. You question everything that this man does stupid decisions, then does dumb things like in the press conference saying, addressing things that Jesse Marsh said, or talk about how we dominated even though we lost, which is, reference to the Netherlands game. And then you go out and you have this performance against Mexico. Um, can you just do this in consistent level? do this better, man. That's all. Especially when we're going to Copa America, man. Like I'm still not. I'm not certain. I'm still not certain how this Copa America is going to go for the U.S. because I just don't. I don't know what I'm going to get from Greg Berhalter. It's just a Jekyll and Hyde situation. There's gonna be some good and there's gonna be some bad. Um, yeah, you can't pay me to believe in Greg Berhalter. I'm just gonna say that you can't pay me to believe in him. It's it's just there's no way. But aside from that, you get another trophy, and this is probably the other rough part is that this just now. If there's any Greg Berhalter stance, which I don't think there really is, but if there is, this is gonna be like the validation for him because now he's won another trophy. Which we're talking about Nations League here. Depending on how you feel, where you rate Nations League, that's going to be another conversation for another day. But like, mind you, this is a trophy we won last year with an interim coach. I just want to point that out. So like, is this really an accomplishment for Greg Berhalter? Because this has now just become the status quo now for USA. It is now an expectation to win the Nations League. It's going to soon be an expectation, or as it should be an expectation to win Copa Oro, Gold Cup. And so, Copa America, I need a statement, man. I need some sort of statement performance from him because I'm not buying it. I'm not sipping the Greg Berhalter Kool-Aid. And it's gonna be a very long time before I start sipping that Kool-Aid because I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I don't believe in Greg Berhalter. I believe in the players. I believe in the players. I just don't believe in Greg Berhalter. I know the players will find ways. But also, I just want to say this before I wrap this up. But obviously, also the other thing is the nine situation. Um, we just don't know. We don't know. Is it Haji Wright? Is it Balogun? Is it Pepe? I have no idea now. You know, obviously Haji Wright has an amazing performance, which I mean, I mentioned it. He did have a solid game before going into this camp. Having to come fill in for Josh Sargent who got injured. So to take in that role, comes in, scores 2 goals. I think this just brings up more question marks for the ninth situation. Like, is it Ricardo Pepe? Is it Balagun? Is it insert whoever the hell name you want to think of? It. I think if anything else, we got more question marks behind the nine position. So yeah, USA. It's gonna be an interesting Copa America to see how all this transpires because while it's positive, I'm happy. One I'm always happy when we beat Mexico. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I love when we beat Mexico. But like it's just like this isn't like a real like bragging point now because Nations League. Once again, I'm not. I'll personally be. I'll tell you right now. I'm just one of those guys that doesn't really value this tournament. Um, there's some value there. There's something that you can make from it, but like, it's just not gonna have like any umph until we see other countries. Oh man, sorry. It's like 11:21 right now, so yeah, it's pretty late. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that CONCACAF needs to get better.